Welcome to the Tourism News Wrap. My name is Jason Amu. Coming up, Kenya unveils magical signature experiences. Cabo Verde Government signs pact to promote domestic tourism. And Marriott International President and CEO Arne Sorenson dies at 62. Kenya's Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Najib Balala, has urged tourism providers to expand their products offerings to deliver unique, authentic Kenyan travel experiences to travelers. He said this during the awards ceremony of the second phase of the Magical Kenya Signature Experience held to recognize outstanding tourism offerings among Kenyan travel industry players.
Today we are here celebrating 15, which have been mentioned, but a total of 44 new experiences of Magical Kenya. It is my great honor and humble to launch this Magical Kenya tourism experience.
Today we are launching the Magical Kenya experience, signature experience, and 29 companies have won these experiences out of 59 companies from all over the country. We have seen the excitement of new products, new experiences, and this is a post-COVID product that we want to develop. Always keep the client first, the visitor first, and be able to think out of the box, be innovative, and be accommodative to the new clientele that you're receiving.
A collaboration protocol to stimulate and foster domestic tourism in Cabo Verde involving different players from the tourism sector was signed on Thursday, February 11 in the city of Praia. The Minister of Tourism and Transport, Carlos Santos, said the act is of great importance as the domestic tourism project is yet another piece in the building that is being erected in view of the resumption of tourism in Cape Verde. The project is aimed at pursuing one of the goals arising from the government's view on tourism, based on diversification, deconcentration, competitiveness, and increased positive impact on Cape Verdean families. Director General for Tourism and Transport, Francisco Martins, had this to say.
Promoting the internal tourism. So, as you know, Cabo Verde have 10 islands. We've been try to keeping launch the campaign for people to travel around the island. That means we need to negotiate with the airlines and the fares company who is operating in the country to lower a little bit the fares between the islands. That means you need to reduce the cost of the travel to allow people who have families and the friends who want to go to from one island to another with the minimum costs possible. Yes, and also a part of the fares we want to negotiate with the service like restaurants, museum, all the activities around the tourism to allow the people to use.
The Prime Minister of Tunisia, Mr. Hisham Mishishi, has reassured craftsmen and women of the government's support towards the revival of their business. The head of government, who was accompanied by the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Habib Amar, and senior government officials, paid a working visit to the National Office for the Traditional Industries Craft Village in Denden and also interacted with officials at the Higher Tourism Studies in Sadi Al Zarif. The Premier also addressed difficulties faced by the tourism sector and the traditional industry sector in Tunisia in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic. The head of government praised efforts to implement the decision taken during the Ministerial Council held on November 6, 2020 to save the tourism sector and traditional industries and support workers in these two critical sectors. Namibia's flag carrier Air Namibia has rounded up its operations as at 11 February 2021 following cabinet decision to file for voluntary liquidation. Air Namibia, in a short media advisory, confirmed the latest development and has directed all affected passengers to contact agents for a refund. Air Namibia wishes to update the flying public, trade and all stakeholders on the status of the national airline operations. Effective Thursday, 11 February 2021, all flight operations will be cancelled, with all aircraft returning to base. The reservation system for taking new bookings is also suspended, the advisory read. Over 600 staff are expected to lose their jobs in this move. In a statement released to the media, the Minister of Finance, Ipumbu Shimi, said, quote, "This difficult decision was taken after a careful consideration of the various options to save the national airline. All options assessed point to the fact that the national airline is not profitable and has not been profitable since its inception. The net economic cost of Air Namibia's operations far outstripped the net gains, and it is thus unsustainable. It is estimated that, so far, government has spent more than 8 billion on Air Namibia. At this stage, the country's economy can no longer afford to perpetually provide financial support to Air Namibia at the expense of supporting economic growth and critical social services." An extensive conversation on Africa's gastronomy is set to add another spice to the already launched Tour of African Gastronomy by the World Tourism Organization. The Tour of African Gastronomy Talk Series is an initiative of the African Department of UNWTO and Voyage Afrique to help the audience and readers appreciate African cuisines and food culture. The series will unravel the food, beverages, recipes and ingredients of Africa's diverse culinary featured in UNWTO's 96-page Tour of African Gastronomy. This series will be hosted in English and French on the VA Tourism podcast. The featured chefs will be the guests of Kojo Bentum Williams, host of the podcast, and also Afrofoodie founder and culinary enthusiast Yasmin Fofana. Spanish-based Ivorian journalist Frank Olivier Kra will complete the team to broadcast Africa's diverse culinary to the world. Leading global hotel chain Marriott International has announced the passing of industry doyen, President and CEO Arne Sorenson on 15 February 2021 in a press statement. The statement said Mr. Arne Sorenson passed away expectedly on February 15, 2021. Quote, "It was with profound sadness that Marriott International announces that Arne Sorenson, President and CEO, unexpectedly passed away on February 15, 2021. In May 2019, the company announced that Mr. Sorenson had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. On February 2, 2021, Marriott shared the news that Mr. Sorenson will temporarily reduce his schedule to facilitate more demanding treatment for pancreatic cancer. Mr. Sorenson became the third CEO in Marriott's history in 2012 and the first without the Marriott surname. The visionary leader, Mr. Sorenson, put the company on a strong growth trajectory that involved the $13 billion acquisition of Starwood Hotels and Resorts. During his tenure as CEO, Mr. Sorenson was tireless in driving the company's progress, creating opportunities for associates, growth for owners and franchisees, and results for the company's shareholders. There's more news on www.voyageafrique.com and all our social media platforms. My name is Jason Amo.